because in the construction of what would be necessary, it would detract from the historical nature of the structures, trying to put a modern energy system into an old building. Therefore, the grant ultimately was not approved for that purpose. But the town said, that being the case, that we can't use the money for that purpose, can we use it for something else? And the grantor said yes, and they approved a different program which had to do with modernizing, I think it was streetlights, is that?
Townwide streetlight.
Okay. Like I said, I'm just doing this.
No, you're doing fine.
And that money, round numbers $2 million, was applied to that program with the permission and approval of all of the relevant agencies.
Okay. I agree with that. I read that, and
Well, wait a minute, Robert. Wait a minute. Slow down.
okay.
I'm on Facebook. See, the Robert Griff who appears at that podium is not always the same Robert Griff who writes on Facebook. I don't follow Facebook.
You know what, let me stop you, John. No, let me stop you. I'm here on my time as a citizen. I'm not getting paid to come up here, okay, like you guys are. I'm here on my time to talk about town business. If you want to talk about personal stuff, Facebook, get on Facebook, let me comment on your page, and then we'll talk about personal stuff. Please do not bring, if it's not town business, you have no right bringing anything that I say up publicly, privately, whatever. It has nothing to do with what we're talking about up here today.
Well,
you want to talk about Facebook, I'll sit down, you can tell everybody how I like to put everything that I think I'm discovering out on Facebook and everything. And by the way, and I love that saying that you used, by the way, I didn't purposely mean to disrespect you or your son, Mike. I don't have anything personal against you. Believe it or not, I still like you. But I have to tell you, after the last 4 years of just dealing day after day and reviewing and researching everything that's going on with the town of Oyster Bay, I'm going to tell you straight out, I believe this is a big pay-to-play, okay? All you have to do is look at the financial disclosures. All you have to do is look who has the jobs with the town. All you have to do is look at the contracts. Now, that's my personal opinion, okay? So that's the point that I'm trying to make when I brought your son up. Nothing personal.
Let me make my point now. Okay. And don't be disrespectful, and don't interrupt me, and don't talk over me. I let you do it because I want you to get it all out on the table. First of all, when it comes to Michael, I don't know how many times he's faced the electorate, that poor kid, but I think it's 3 or 4 times in 3 or 4 years. He doesn't have an appointed job. He's not a member of any union. He has no guarantee. He's got to face the jury, so to speak, face the public being the jury every 2 years, and we all know what the results have been. Some people support him. Some people don't support him. Some people make financial contributions. Some people don't, whatever the case may be. But that really shouldn't be the subject of any discussion or reference before the town board. You're the one who sought to make the reference. But getting back to what I was saying before, your Facebook page was about town business. I don't follow it regularly, but people do bring things to my attention. And on the subject of Littauer, you railed. I actually didn't believe my eyes when I saw it. You railed for days on end, in entry after entry after entry, how the town of Oyster Bay procured a $2 million federal grant for use at Littauer. And you went on and on and on about, I've been to the Littauer site, much like you said this morning. I didn't see any improvements. Where did this money go? You made statements that you actually named people who you believe put the money in their pocket, absconded with the money, stole the money.
No, I don't think so. You'd have to, if you're gonna accuse me of that, read what I said.
I will.
Print it out and read to me right now. Don't just make false accusations. I come up here with
Robert,
documents. No, hold
I
on.
you not to interrupt.
You're just talking. You're just telling stories.
I can't let you do that. I read it. I know what I saw.
Okay.
What you apparently, and you made complaints to the federal government, where did this $2 million go? I think you made complaints to other levels of government. By the way, you've made many complaints in the past, and all of them, to the best of my knowledge, because I have the letters, those letters I know I have absolved all of the people you complained about. Len Genova, Donna Swanson, a whole litany of people. Now, you write all that stuff, and you accuse people of stealing $2 million, maybe it went into their pocket, whatever things that you said, and what you never bothered to figure out or understand or look into is exactly what Hal Mayer just said. The money was removed with the permission of the federal government from the Littauer Estate to the townwide lighting program.
Okay.
And yet you go on and on and on, day after day after day. And you did the same thing with the Burns Park contract. Robert, I'm not saying you're not entitled to do it, but when you come up to, when the other Robert comes up to the podium and says, no, I don't want to talk about that, we can't not talk about it. Because the written word is just as damaging as the spoken word. And when you put things out there on the internet, in the day that we live in the times that we live in, people read it and some will believe it. And it's totally erroneous. You should have, when these complaint results come back, you should publish the letter saying, hey, I made a complaint about Donna Swanson and here's the response I got. I'm solving her. I was wrong about...
You should publish that stuff.
I was wrong, I just did.
You should make your Facebook page and publish it.
I just did. I just published it. I don't need a Facebook page. I can say whatever I have to say, looking face to face. I don't need a Facebook. You should have said at some point that, oh, you know what, whoops, I was wrong. Nobody stole the $2 million. The $2 million was allocated for the townwide lighting program with the permission of the grantor, federal government. So when you come up here and you make bold, self-serving, conclusory allegations that, oh, this whole town is about this and it's about that, Robert, how can we accept that when we see, you know, there's an old charge that a judge will give to every jury upon request. It's a Latin phrase, and I think it's falsus in uno. And what it says, what the judge says to the jury, if you find that any witness who came before this court during the matter on trial lied to you, even about one thing, you as a jury are entitled to dismiss everything that person says. Because if a person lies one time, they're capable of lying a second.
Good thing we're not on trial.
Now, I was about to say, maybe do it.
Both sides of the fence.
Good thing we're not on trial.
Let me ask you one question.
No, you gotta let me finish my statement.
I'm sorry, I thought you were done. Go ahead.
No, I'm almost done. So when you come to the board and you speak to us in conclusory, self-serving terms without proof, and with the proof you have, half the proof, or you misinterpret what you think it is because you want so badly to get to that conclusion, you really can't blame the board for having trouble, I don't want to say taking you seriously, because I like you. You like me, and I like you, and we like both the same. This is long ago. I like you, I really do. It's not personal.
Same thing, same thing.
But when someone comes up here, based upon the record, and starts to make, again, self-serving, bold, conclusory statements, it's very, very hard for us to attribute credibility to them.
Okay.
And so that's the dilemma that we face. And you think what you think about the town of Oyster Bay. We think what we think about you. But we do like each other, which is a nice thing. So we'll continue, but I'd like to do it in a gentlemanly fashion, get to the point, listen to both sides, and let's move on because we do have a lot of people here this morning who have legitimate town business.
I'm sorry, but I believe my business is legitimate.
I didn't say it wasn't. Why are you reaching that conclusion? I'm saying these people have legitimate town business.
Okay, I just want to ask you a question on this, but I'm just going to put something out there to you too. Listen, I know you'd like nothing better than to discredit me up here, okay?
Well, that's not
Hold on, let me finish what I'm saying now, all right? Now, you make reference to complaints that I made that were, you know, nothing was found, but let's let everybody know that you're the judge of those complaints, okay? Hold on a second, let me finish. Any complaints that I've made to the Nassau County District Attorney, or to the FBI, or maybe to the New York State Inspector General, those are all still ongoing. There's been no resolution to those. Okay, complaints I've made to you, you've cleared your people. Now, just getting back to the subject at hand.
Well, wait a minute, now before we move on, real quick, the complaints I specifically referred to, the Donna Swanson one.
You have them written down up there? You're prepared.
I don't have it with me, but I can produce. I didn't have a copy of the letter absolving Donna regarding the notary stamp. Do you recall that?
Oh, the notary stamp?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. That's good. That's good. She didn't do anything wrong with the notary stamp?
Once again, on the Facebook page, I mean, it went on for days on end, castigating her
You know what, you purposely want to get off the subject, you want to talk about Facebook.
And you made a
But again, you're making blank statements, you don't have to
You
do
made a
anything.
complaint to the state agency, and the state agency responded in writing. Matthew, can you get the letter? Yes. The state agency responded. Oh, you acknowledge?
I acknowledged a long time ago. I made a complaint about her using her notary on her own forms, and they said there was nothing wrong. Listen, I'm allowed to say I think there's something here and ask a question. We'll make it clean. You know what? I know you want to talk about that.
After raising the issue for days on end and slander, libeling her, defaming her, defaming a lawyer in her profession, why don't you at least have the common decency to publish the letter and say, hey, you know what? I made the complaint to the state agency, and they responded. Because I guarantee you, had the state agency responded and found wrongdoing on Donna's part, I don't even want to think about what the consequences of that.
All right, I'll take that into consideration.
Try to be fair about that.
You know what? I'll try to be fair. But getting back to this.
Because you're really a good guy.
You don't want to talk about this?
And I know deep down inside you have a sense of...
Okay, what I want to ask you about this, John, this is a pretty simple question. If you don't mind me calling you John, I'm sorry, Mr. Supervisor. Hal pointed out, and I know that, the initial grant was for 2.2, and that 1.9 million got diverted to do the lighting. I understand that. I'm not saying that grant money was absconded or anything. But what I want to ask you is, okay, if the initial grant was for 2 million and 1.9 got diverted to do lighting, why have we paid Doug Wilke almost $1 million to date to draw plans for something that we're not going to do?
I don't know the answer to that, but Hal, maybe you can help. And by the way, before we get, we're just going to give the answer.
Okay.
I just, not as an aside, but like you said before, I forgot something and I want to go back.
Okay.
The things that you write also engender reactions from other people. What you did to Paul Molinari was just absolutely vile. I didn't know how Paul's such a gentleman that he won't bring it up.
Oh, Paul and I spoke about it.
Yeah, okay. Okay, Paul.
On the public comment, I have...
Okay, fair enough, I didn't mean to. But you engender, and you don't remove them.
I'm sorry, I just have to take my shirt off. It's so hot.
No, take your shirt off.
The back of your shirt.
It's really hot,
And you engender certain reactions from other people. Because, for example, on Littauer, when you gave out all that wrong information, a lot of people get fired up.
I don't think I gave anything out wrong.
No, hold on. A lot of people get fired up and they start writing because they think what you're saying is true. Now, I have my wife, for example, has to read a comment from I think a town resident that says, hey, Venditto, if you say that one more time, I'm gonna, what was it, wipe the smile off my face? Or step on me, whatever the word was, urinate on me, whatever you expression. It's terrible. You left it on your Facebook page.
I didn't even know it was on there. I gotta tell you something, John.
I'm glad
I gotta tell you something. I post some stuff on there, and then I don't read it. I don't go over it and read it. People post whatever they want.
It makes me feel better because I do like you, and I want to ascribe credibility to you. So I will accept that answer. But I would ask you a second thing now. Look at some of the comments that the things you post engender, and when you see somebody say, hey, Venditto, if you say that again, I'm going to wipe the floor with you, or whatever they're going to say, take a comment like that off. I don't think it should be.
You're asking me to, right?
I'm asking you.
You're asking as a favor. You're asking me to do that.
I'm
right?
asking you as a matter of common decency.
Okay, I'll consider
I
it.
do believe that you are a decent guy.
Okay, I'll consider
I think
it.
you will do the right thing.
I'll consider it. I might have a problem with the First Amendment thing there, but I'll consider it.
No. Listen, the First Amendment, we all know. I don't think the First Amendment says, I think I'm going to go hurt that man because he did something. Commenting about public officials is fair game. Nobody up here has a thin skin. You've been coming up here for a year. We've been allowing you to pretty much say whatever you want. And nobody says, oh, Rob, you're hurting my feelings. But I think when you start to threaten people,
I'm not threatening anybody.
I didn't say you.
Well, I can't be responsible for the world, John. I mean, that's like holding the editor of the Daily News responsible for what people write into the news.
You're not responsible for the Daily News or the world, but you are responsible for the contents of your Facebook page. And I'll accept the fact that you don't know these things are appearing there, but I would hope that you'll start to pay attention to them And when you see somebody calling elected officials a skank,
I don't think anybody, I would never allow, listen, I don't believe, and please, if you're gonna accuse me of somebody, hold on a second, you just brought the word skank up, all right? If you're gonna say that I allowed someone to term someone a skank, okay? And to put it, listen, that's, you brought the word skank up. If you're gonna make these accusations about my page, do me a favor, print it out and show me what you're talking about.
We'll do that.
Thank you.
You're getting sensitive. You talk about things.
No, you want to talk about Facebook. You don't want to talk about town business.
Because I haven't once said, this is town business. I haven't once said to you that you actively did any of these things, and I'm even accepting your explanation that you don't know about.
I don't have an explanation.
All I'm saying to you is, the next time someone makes a threat against an elected official, or the next time someone calls an elected official words like skank, somebody help me out, what were the other? Boo, what else? Some of them I don't want to
Referring
repeat.
to the male town, the wives of the town.
Oh, referring to the wives of the male town board members that once.
Listen, I don't know about that, and I wouldn't stand for that.
I didn't say you would. All I'm asking you is to be more mindful that the things you engender, that you engender things when you write, the material that you write on the Facebook page, and take a look at what they're saying. I know a guy, because you're a former cop, you're a former police officer.
You know that.
I think, of course, I said you're a former cop. You of all people should say, wow, that's just not right, and I shouldn't allow that or tolerate it on my Facebook. So in the future.
Right, but Supervisor, I'm sorry, but in the interest of the Facebook discussion, you did post a picture of myself and my minor son and stated that we were having a private pumpkin picking session at Littauer Farm. I want you to know that that picture wasn't taken at Littauer Farm. It was taken at Syosset Woodbury Community Park with about 2,500 people during the town's fall festival. And that is something that you specifically did, you specifically posted. And I think it was the wrong thing to do. And when we're talking about when you find out that something is wrong, I think you should take responsibility for that.
You know, I'm glad you brought that up, because one of your friends private messaged me and asked me to take it down, and I did, okay?
Why did you post a picture of a child?
Listen, why do you have pictures of Little League players? Stop with that, John. Don't go that route, all right? Don't embarrass me.
I can understand why you want to go there.
One of your friends private messaged me and asked me to take it down, and I did. But at the same time, somebody, yourself or your husband, made a complaint to Facebook, and they removed it also. But then Facebook reviewed it and put it back up. I didn't put it back up. Okay, so if you like, I'll take it down when I go home. Okay.
Yes, I would like.
Okay,
Let me be very, very clear. I do not want you posting pictures of my 8-year-old son on Facebook. Can I be any clearer than that?
Listen, how could I even know he was your son? He wasn't identified in the photograph as you, your husband, and your son.
Okay, I'll tell you what.
We're talking about, I mean, how do we go from resolutions to talking about Facebook?
Because you talk about them on Facebook.
Because you brought up Facebook because you wanted to divert everything to talk about Facebook.
No,
Let me ask you a question about this Littauer Estate.
Because the things that are on Facebook are on the very subject.
Listen, I have the purchase contract.
It can't be two people. It can't be the Robert Griffin.
Yes, it can be wherever I am. This is the road regarding the Robert Rep, remember?
No, I'm saying, you can be 5 people. But you have to answer for all 5.
That's right, absolutely.
All right, go ahead.
Okay, so I just wanted to ask you, I obtained this resolution, it's the purchase resolution for the Littauer Estate. Okay, and there's a number of different items that they touch on here, but one strikes me as kind of important. It has to do with public health and safety. All right, so what it says is, excuse me for a second. What it says is, the acquisition and preservation of the subject property under the proposed action will provide a general benefit with respect to the public health and safety as compared to the potential future development of the site. The ESA investigations, which were undertaken as part of the town's due diligence activities for the proposed land acquisition, revealed a number of recognized environmental conditions which should be properly addressed in order to ensure the protection of public health and safety. There is a large amount of this asbestos-containing material in the main house and a smaller quantity in the cottage. Much of this material is in poor condition and would have to be removed before the buildings could be occupied under town ownership. This work should be preceded by a comprehensive survey to determine more precise the full extent of asbestos in the on-site buildings and to formulate a suitable plan. Because of the age of the buildings of the subjected location, it is suspected that lead is present in the undercoat of paint throughout these structures. Although the Phase 1 investigation revealed that painted surfaces generally are in good condition, some areas of peeling or of chip paint were observed. A comprehensive survey should be undertaken to evaluate the condition of painted surfaces throughout the site and to identify areas where painting should occur before the buildings are occupied under the town ownership, especially if the ultimate use entails activities for small children. Okay? Now, what I find really interesting about that is that in order to purchase the property then, the town had to do, Town of Oyster Bay, Department of Environmental Resources, Division of Environmental Quality Review. This is the ESA, the Quality Review. Now the interesting thing about the review is, it reads, the 14.67 acre parcel comprising the southerly half of the overall Littauer Estate, which contains the house, barn, and accessory structures, will not be retained. The town, to the best of my knowledge from the documents that I'm reading, you did an EVA resources approval, but after the resolution explained to everyone that there was asbestos and contaminated material, instead of dealing with that, what you did is you just decided to take that part of the deal out of your review. Okay? What we're talking about in the review here, it says it clear out. The property proposed for acquisition comprises an 8.55 acre parcel encompassing 2 small ponds and a surrounding upland at the north end of the overall 25.29 acre Littauer Estate. The 2.7 acres comprising the former orchard parcel in the west portion of the site. Specifically, the 14.67 parcel, which contains the house, barn, and accessory structures, will be retained in private ownership and is not part of the proposed acquisition. So how did we even buy this place? I mean, was there another review done that I don't know about? Was all this asbestos and lead paint, was this all handled before we started making offices in the building?
Go ahead, Joe.
What's the date on that report?
This is a resolution 555 from 207. This is the purchase resolution, and the report is dated June 26, 2007. And I'm sorry, let me make sure I have the right report for you, I'm sorry. It looks like June 16, 2006, I'm sorry, my mistake. And see if I get a signature on here for you, maybe.
You're not prepared now.
No.
My memory usually doesn't go back ahead.
Well, obviously there was some hazardous, I mean, I hate to use that word hazardous so liberally, but obviously there was some asbestos and lead paint in this building that needed to be dealt with. And apparently it wasn't even, I mean, why would we deal with it? It wasn't even reported to anybody. We decided not to include that.
Well, let's find out. John, you'll do the same thing for me that you did for John Burns Park.
I'd also like to know, out of the there's $569,785 that was so far paid. There's a whole list of the work that Doug Wilke and his people supposedly did. And then there's another contract that is mentioned in emails through the federal government in regards to the $2.2 million grant, which explains that Mr. Wilke was also awarded the contract for $433,000 to do this.
To get the grant and process it as far as though it was, as I alluded to before, wasn't in keeping with the historical preservation requirement. But that money was spent under that grant, which may, if it was originally $2.2 million and we wound up getting 1.9 for the other program, that would suggest that what Wilke's firm was paying under that grant was the difference of approximately $300,000. That's off the top of my head.
Well,
We'll get the actual numbers.
We'll find out.
I also, as with John Ellsworth, don't recall in great detail the whole sequence of events. But I believe that much of the money that Wilke's firm earned had to do with addressing the kinds of things that Mr. Rip just talked about to correct or address, maybe is a better term, some of the things that needed to be changed in order to move the property to be suitable for public use.
Okay,
But we'll get the
we'll find
details.
out.
We don't have to speculate. I have everything right here in front of me. I have all the resolutions. I'll tell you exactly what Wilke was paid for.
With all due respect.
Well, wouldn't you like to know how we paid Wilke $569,000?
Robert, our records will tell us that. We don't need you to tell us.
So before we move on, I just want to make sure I have this straight. We got a grant for $2.2 million We diverted 1.9 to do lighting, and then we paid Doug Wilke almost $1 million to design something that we're never gonna build.
I don't think we know if that's a fact yet.
Okay.
Much like we had to correct the first park record, we'll correct this record as well.
I guess I'll move on if it's okay.
Go ahead.
The last one is